Hello and welcome to another episode of Sevtech Ages. So last episode we made this new armor after raiding an ocean temple and made a few tools, and actually before I even get started I actually lost my inventory. I lost all my items, so I had to replenish them. I did it by mistake, trying out a command to clear the water instead of clear my whole inventory. Anyways, I also found gold after almost falling into lava. So there's some gold here, molten gold, to actually make casts. So I made an ingot cast and an arrowhead cast to actually get a compass. I'll show you in a minute what I use it for. So as you can see, the compass shows our X and Z axis, and I actually started working on my, if as you can see there's a pillar going up to the floating island, and I thought of a sort of a makeshift way to go back to go there. I actually removed this teleporter, climbed it, and marked my locations there, because the locations on the beneath and on the overworld are the same. So I dug down to this teleporter's location. So it's a one way only, so I can go here, go up there on the beneath, and come out on the floating island. That's where we're going to be setting up our Astral Sorcery works. So before we start that, the first thing they ask us to do here, if you come to H2, is the constellation paper, and for that we need a few things. I should have all the paper here somewhere, unless there's something I didn't recover, but I can also make more paper. I should have some here. That should be enough for what we need. The rest of it I got lost in the item purge I did by accident, but 10 piece of paper should be enough. Now the first thing we need to do is a few of these parchments that are made like this. I believe there's a bunch of constellations on Astral Sorcery, but I do believe there's 5 main ones that you need to actually get started. There's 2 main ones that I want to get, is the Evitas and the Vicio, or Vicio. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. Those are the 2 mains that I want to actually collect at the start. So that gave us only 2 pieces of parchment. I'm probably yeah, I think I lost all the rest of the paper. It's not here, but well, what can you do? I'll make more paper in the off camera and make more of the constellation paper. But if we come here to our Abyssal Craft altar, there's 2 ways you can make it later on, specific ones if you want to, like to get the other constellations, or you can make the Necronomicon ritual like this. So I got a bunch of rock crystals here. I collected a bit more aquamarine as well. I am gonna need to go through a lot, and the ingots, and finally the parchment in the middle, and just like that, shift right click it, and we got our first constellation paper. As you can see, I got 2 achievements, one for the papers, one for defeating Enderman. I actually got lucky on drop, and it gave me a whole Ender Pearl. Usually you have to cast it, you have to melt down Ender dust. So I actually got lucky with that. We got Evorcio. Let's do one more, since we are here already. I want to see if I can get Evitas or Vicio for the rest of the thing. Sadly, this method does go by a lot of crystals. There's a skeleton dude in here. And he only uses 500 P, so you should be able to make a bunch. What am I... Oh, I forgot to put one here. So let's make one more. Put down this fire. Oh, I actually got Vicio, the one I needed. Anyways, now that we have this, we can take our acetone, and you can shift right click it to open up an inventory and actually put the constellation paper up here. Oh, you skeleton, silly skeleton. Yeah, be done. So anyways, that's it for the constellation paper. I'm gonna have to craft more paper for the parchments, but I'll do that in the off time. I don't even know if we can actually work on what I want to. So our ultimate goal is crafting the mantle of stars, and for this we need the highest level altar. So we need to upgrade piece by piece first, and then we need other things like these resonating gems that we need to infuse and a starlight infuser. So it's gonna take a while. It's probably gonna be a few episodes of that before we can actually get the mantle, and then we have to attune the mantle, and it's gonna give us creative light. So I want to see if I can actually... Oh, Jesus, that hurt. And you stay on fires for so long on this for some reason. So yeah, I want to see if I can actually get even use the things that we need later on. So I'm gonna collect a few things and go up the island, and I'll catch you guys there. So before we go up the island, I actually wanted to make a few things. I'm gonna smelt down this tin. It's gonna smelt super fast. So I want to make the chisel, and you can make it either with iron plates or tin plates. I can also make plate casting if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna use the anvil and hammer it down. So there's our one block of tin, and I also need to make a few molten glass for... Let me actually let the tin finish casting. The glass we're gonna need to make... Let me go back here. Yeah, Astral. Go on, let me type Astral. We need to make this glass lens, and we before we have the starlight infusion, you have to make it this way. So we need a bunch of glass. I need one or two, a few actually later for another thing to help us boost the star. But the island is so high up that we might not even need to boost the altar, to be fair. Anyways, we need to make this looking glass, and later telescope. Yeah, the telescope here. So telescope is just an upgrade, it's easier to use, but we need the glass planes to actually do the looking glass stuff. So here is our tin block. Let me hammer it down into ingots and make one plate. For now I just need one chisel. The chisels last quite a bit. I actually had a bunch of tin here, so I didn't even need that, to be honest, but just showing you how to make them, might as well. So here I'm gonna collect a few of these glass panes. So I need 4 for the looking glass, and if I need more I come here and grab it. Another thing that is also good to make that I highly recommend is the Cave Illuminator over here. and pretty much you put it on the ground above with clear sky, above the clear sky, below the clear sky, let's rather say, and it actually starts illuminate everything below you, and it's really useful in some parts of explorations, like between lands is very useful to have, and on the Twilight Forest as well, because there's some dark places there that you can illuminate the whole place with just this. So I am probably gonna use it. For that we need illumination powder, and this is the recipe. We need first to upgrade the altar to starlight crafting altar, which is the second tier, and for that we need glass shards, piles of sand, all of that. So for this stuff we need to melt piles of sand. We just craft it like that. So let me get these glasses first. Let me get the last bits of sand that I have here. So you just like this, you craft piles of sand, and I need 4 glass shards, and I believe you can just put it here. Let me remove one of that. I just need 4. I'm just gonna keep this sand on me. This is our last glass pane. I need my sticks. I think I lost my sticks as well on my inventory purge. I should have some here. So just like that, we got a chisel, and the chisel is gonna help you get the marble and actually craft all the different marble types of Astral Sorcery, because you do need it. You do need a bunch of types to actually make the recipe. Like the first thing we're gonna make is the light well to actually collect liquid starlight, and for that you need these rune marbles, chisel marbles, and all kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna go sleep, and I'll catch you guys when I'm up on the island. So I took the teleport up here. As you can see, I cleared up already some area, and the altar is gonna be on this corner, and I'm gonna leave space for the other buildings over there. Depending on how it grows I might reposition it, but it's kinda pretty much how it's gonna go. So the first thing we want to craft is the resonating one. That's the name of it, right? Yeah, the resonating one. We only need to do it like this. But oh, I actually forgot. You can craft this one on a regular crafting table. Either way, I'm gonna go and do that later. I want to show you the upgrade for the altar. So you actually need to make this structure around the altar. We can upgrade it first and then make the structure, but I'm just gonna make the structure here and then later upgrade it. We are gonna need to make the light well before that, and for that we just need to craft it like this. But I'm gonna go make a resonating one. For some reason I forgot the crafting table recipe. So I got the resonating one. Now we just have to make the light well, and we need, and here's when the chisel comes into hand. We need a few of these, like so, here, and here, and the rest of it we don't need to craft all 60. I am doing that just by mistake. And we need chiseled marble, so show those just like this. And you're gonna see there's this meter below the crafting altar. That's actually your starlight power. So to actually make this recipe, let me check if it's, oh, I need a crystal here on the middle. I brought some. I'm just gonna show you how the craft works, and you should be able to craft it. Because we are on very high on the world, our starlight even during daytime is pretty high. Usually you have to wait till nighttime to actually craft them. So if you're making yours during nighttime. Be aware of that. The higher you get, the more starlight power you get. So just right click it and it's gonna start doing that, and there you go. In no time it's gonna actually give us the thing. Now there's two options here. You can either use aquamarine or you can use one crystals depending on how much you have of them. I'm gonna the thing is they can break at any time, so be aware of that. So sometimes you want to save on crystals because they're harder to come by. Maybe you just got too many and you don't want to use it, or you don't want to go mining aquamarine. I usually recommend aquamarine because it's cheaper, let's say, comparatively to crystals, but you can use crystals as well. They might offer you a longer lifespan, but as you set it down, it's going to start slowly collecting starlight liquid. I exactly forgot exactly how it's called in the mod. It's going to start collecting it. Now the thing you want to do with the starlight liquid starlight rather, is grow crystals. So you gonna need the stardust to actually craft the star metal ingot, right? If you check the achievements here, you'll see that to enter the twilight zone and making the portal, instead of a diamond you actually use the star metal ingot, and to get that is a whole ordeal. You have to craft it. This is the recipe for star metal ore. You need iron cluster, illumination powder, nocturnal powder, all this to craft one single one before you can actually make start using transmutation, which is a whole different story but much cheaper to make. And like I said, you do need this illumination powder. So while the aquamarine collects, we have to keep an eye on it because it holds 2 buckets, and if it's overfilling, it's gonna waste your aquamarine, so you want to take it out as soon as you can. So as you can see, the starlight crafting recipe is super cheap. You just need 1 bucket of starlight. I don't know if it accepts other kinds of buckets. I'm gonna find out that soon. But it needs chiseled marble, 2 chiseled marble. Let me get my chisel here. 2 chisel marble and 4 of the pillars here. So as you can see, since we are high up, it fills up entirely. So 2 chisel marble here on the corners, the pillars here, and let's see if my bucket actually works. I got a bucket of starlight and I need 1 crystal. Bucket here, yeah, it does work. So we can actually upgrade it. Let's do it. And deal with the mobs. I guess I need to make this place safer. These guys are gonna be bothering me. And there we go, it's upgraded. Starlight upgrade, and you got advancement for that. So as you can see now, it's showing red here and you're not able to craft anything, so be aware of that. Now to actually use this, you are gonna need to build the whole structure. But if you open your what's it called, Astral Tome, you're gonna see there's a new category here, attunement, and here is where I want to actually get. There's 2 things actually from these the celestial gateways, which are a teleporter, and the attunement altars, and I'm gonna work on both of these. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to them on this episode, but anyways, we should have our bucket back. Or does it consume the bucket? It uses the bucket. Okay, So I'm gonna go make a new bucket to actually show you the second part and build up this structure so we can actually craft new things. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. So I crafted two more buckets because it used my buckets on that crafting. I wanted to show you guys one thing. First, the gem already broke, so it does take uses a while. It can break super fast. It can break, and it can take a while to break. But now we have two buckets, and one thing I do recommend before start working using these stardust, it's actually a way to duplicate it, is growing crystals. So maybe I'm gonna put them a bit further away just to avoid confusion. So to actually grow crystals, you make holes like this, put your liquid starlight in them, and there's two types of growth. That's one. There are ones that you just throw your rock crystal in a pool, and it's gonna slowly absorb it to grow with stats. And it's a way to get, like, for example, purity crystal close to 100 to duplicate, even more so the ones at 100, and it's gonna increase the size of it after absorbing a bit. It might take more than one pool of liquid starlight to do it, so it can be expensive at the start, but yeah, it's gonna maintain all the other stats and it's gonna increase in size, and it has a chance of splitting into two. So that's one way to do it. The other way is taking a random crystal with like pretty 37%, for example. Take your stardust, throw your stardust in it, and then throw your crystal in. It's gonna start emitting these particles. Now this is gonna re-roll all the stats on the rock crystal. It's gonna consume the stardust and the crystal, and it's gonna, and you see in a minute, is gonna go and form a new cluster. Now this cluster, it starts small, but it grows over time. You want to wait until it fully grows and start emitting particles again, similar to this one, to actually break it. Now when you see, this is a small cluster, and I believe on F3 there's something that shows the stage, or did they remove that? They might have removed that. Yeah, I think they removed it. Anyways, you'll be able to see when it's fully grown because it's going to start emitting particles. Now this one way to try re-rolling for 100% purity crystal. And also when you break it, when it's fully grown, it has a chance, I don't know if it's guaranteed or it's a high chance, to give you 2 stardust instead of 1. So that's why I recommend to use it at the start, because you want these blue crystals because they're better, and you want to try to get 100% purity one. On later episodes I'm gonna explain exactly why. The objective with these ones are making these floating crystals, which you make like this, and these you can put them on the world and link with these two. Where is it? There's a linking tool. I forgot what it's called exactly. It's somewhere around here. I just cannot find it for the life of me. Here it is, linking to, yeah, exactly like that. So this is the recipe for it. With this you can link the crystal to your starlight altar, for example, and it's gonna increase the boost of it by a lot. You can also put it over your crystals and link them to your crystals so they grow faster. That's another use for them. And there's also the starlight transmutation, which you can, like, for example, collect a piece of iron ore from the Twilight Forest, which is actually the Minecraft ore, which you can place in the world, and if you link it to it, it actually turns it into star metal into. So as you can see here, starlight transmutation, that's how you do it later on. You get the actual iron ore from the Twilight Forest, which I'm gonna show in a later episode. At the start you are gonna have to do it this way, so be aware of that. And let me get another crystal here and put these two to grow. By the way, the rock crystals, I don't think they despawn, I think they are permanent in the world, so be aware of that. And later I'm gonna put here. Anyways, I'm gonna cut here and build the structure for the upgraded altar, the Starlight crafting altar, and be back with you guys in a second. So there we go, a building structure. You can check the items you need over, if you hover over this little star next to it. It tells you all the materials you need. To craft sooty marble, the black one, you just need to surround it, one piece of coal surrounded with marble, and it's gonna craft it. And like I said, use your chisels. Chisel is gonna be your friend with these buildings. And then want to bring you guys back to craft our last thing. So the first thing we need is to craft what is it called? I need to craft it here. So we need to craft the looking glass, right? We need this glass lens that is like this. Let me get my, where is it? Resonating one, couldn't see it. Should craft it pretty fast. Now we should be able to craft everything. We just need some spruce planks or some planks of any kind. I forgot to do that. Let me chop some wood real quick, and I should have the sticks. So there's our looking glass, and as you can see, you can look around and actually look for the constellations. Like there's some constellations somewhere here, but I do recommend upgrading this to the telescope, and I'll show you the difference in just a second. It's gonna take a bit to craft it. With our luck, day is almost here, but you should be able to see the constellations are these bigger stars, just like that. And the mini game here is that you have to connect them just like this, just like clicking. And you need to have discovered, you need the constellation paper of the constellation before you actually are able to connect them. So now that's becoming daytime, you're not gonna be able to see it. So this mod relies a lot on being nighttime to actually do it. Now the question is there gonna be enough starlight to make the nesting I want to show you? So let's try to craft it like this. The starlight power goes away. We're gonna craft it next episode, but it should be able to let us craft this thing, hopefully. This thing is time and is actually draining and all. So we got the illumination powder. You can right click it and place it on the world, but there's actually a better thing to do it later on, which is the illumination one, which is basically a better blood sigil lamp, because it only uses star power, it doesn't use your blood. The downside is that it doesn't have a ranged function to it. Now let's see if it lets us craft the Cave Illuminator. So I should just right click it, and yeah, we are so high up we actually have enough to craft the Cave Illuminator. So with the Cave Illuminator, you just have to place it in the world with a view from the sky, and it's gonna light up everything below that's too dark. I'm not gonna do it on the overworld because it actually might illuminate all the caves and the mobs are gonna be spawning on the surface. So I don't recommend that unless you want to deal with that as well. So before we go, I just wanted to show you as well. One of our crystals actually is fully grown, as you can see, is starting to emit particles. So we should be safe now to actually break this. And bad luck, we didn't get our stardusts back. We only got one, but this allows you to duplicate it, and it's gonna turn your rock crystal into a celestial crystal, which is better overall for stuff, and it's also needed for some recipes. But as you can see, we got a 78 purity one, so it's not really that useful for us. For now, I'm gonna keep these rock crystals. I'm gonna collect some starlight, liquid starlight, and continue the process as much as I can. I'm gonna take all my crystals and put them through this to see if I can get a 100% purity one. So anyways, this is the end of this episode. On the next one, we're gonna continue progression on the Astral Sorcery mod. Probably gonna do some buildings between episodes. I want to see if I can get to the attunement altar and other stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that we can get into this mod, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyways, if you liked the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't. It's free and you can always undo it. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.